I love my family and enjoy spending time with them. So, does that make me a bad Christian? Jesus said we must hate father, mother, wife or husband, children, brothers and sisters. We must even hate our own life to the point of death. That's tough talk, making us stop in our tracks. But that's the point, isn't it? Being a disciple is tough. It requires total commitment, no half measures. Imagine a politician campaigning with slogans like, "We promise higher taxes and lower wages. You will lose your family and your home." Does that sound appealing? Losing all the things you love most? But that is what Jesus is saying. Now imagine you are the leader of an expedition tasked with rescuing people from a remote village cut off from the outside world that can only be accessed by treacherous mountain paths and deep ravines. Your advert says, "Leave your packs behind. The paths are too steep to carry heavy loads. Write your last postcard home. This is a dangerous route and many have not made it back." We might not like it, but we can probably see the reasoning behind the statements. There is an honesty about what this will cost, not some empty political promise or half-truth. Even so, I want to consider carefully before committing to such a risky endeavour. Jesus says, if you're going to build a tower, don't you work out the cost and examine your own resources before you start building? It would be a waste of effort to lay the foundations and then realise you can't afford to complete the building. Or if you were a king and about to go to war with a neighbouring king, you would weigh up whether your small army of 10,000 had any chance of defeating an army of 20,000. If not, surely the wisest course would be to seek peace. So, let us consider what it is Jesus is asking us to do. I do not believe that Jesus is asking us literally to hate our family. In Judaism, family is perhaps even more important than in our culture. Jesus is saying that no love, not even the deepest love for our family, can compare with the love we have for him. Land was the most important possession to the Jewish people. And we still see that playing out with devastatingly tragic consequences today. It's more about where our priorities lie. Are we prepared to commit to Jesus, even though it may put us apart from those we love? Are we prepared to give up our treasured possessions? It's a hard question. What is the cost to us? There are people, indeed, who have sold their homes, given away possessions as part of their faith. We may not feel this is something we can do, but are we prepared to respond with extravagant generosity if called to do so, for some urgent emergency, for example? And are we prepared to carry our own cross? This is not simply a metaphorical question. Are we prepared to go through tough times? Following Jesus is not always easy. Rather, it is also literally asking us, are we prepared to carry our own cross? Death by crucifixion was reserved for the worst criminals. It was a painful and very public death. The convicted criminal was forced to walk through the streets carrying his own cross as a symbol of shame and submission to the Roman authorities. Now, I hope and pray that none of us will ever have to face death as a consequence of our faith. But there are parts of the world where this is a very real cost of discipleship. However, we may face ridicule and humiliation in an ever more secular society. Are we prepared to speak out about our faith, even though we may be ignored or even ridiculed and humiliated? These are all difficult questions that seem to ask a lot of us. Jesus asked these questions to get the crowds to think through their enthusiasm for him. He encouraged those who were superficial to go deeper or to turn back. Do you want to go deeper? What are you prepared to give up to follow Christ? Where do our priorities lie? Amen.